Our day trading recap, June 20th, 2019. It's a little less than 45 minutes to the close today, this Thursday, and two big things that came up today, which I didn't trade, but I'll show you them. And this was Carnival Corp had earnings this morning, and it gapped down. You can see here. I'll tighten this up. So on this daily chart, you see it was kind of slowly moving down, not much of a pattern working here, but after earnings yesterday, actually this morning, earnings happened and it gapped way down. So let's see if I can put that in the pre-market. Yeah, so this was at 6:30 this morning. I guess they announced earnings and big gap down. So I think it worked its way back up. See, I was considering getting back into this, or actually one of the other cruise liners, which were all following Carnival today because of the fact that it had earnings and it was making such a move. But you see here, gap below, or it went down through VWAP, came back up. It was kind of all over the place, really hard to follow here. But as soon as it started tightening up here, this is where I would have started to maybe take notice. You can see it got back above VWAP, then it had two red bars and then another green bar to get back above VWAP. When it broke this little level right here at 47.50 something, that's probably where I would have thought about taking a turn at it. 47.61-ish area maybe. You could have ridden that up to almost over $1. And if you look at the 8 EMA, yeah, this cross. This is where I would have gotten in right here. You see this cross of the 8 EMA and the 20 SMA on this 5-minute chart. So like right about there, it was doing two things at once. It was the cross was happening here, and at the same time you had a VWAP, looked like a VWAP hold. So yeah, so it didn't take CCL. But if you look at the other cruise lines, which I can bring up, so that was Carnival, and this is Carnival's other. I don't know. I guess they're two different parts of the company. They were following suit. Royal Caribbean never actually got back. Royal Caribbean dropped and kind of just dropped the rest of the day. You can see they gapped down too. So not a great day for the cruise ships. But then the other one that actually had earnings and did really well today was ORCL. And I know a lot of people were on this early. I just couldn't follow it. Again, I don't trade early in the day, other than in pre-market, which I will show you. I made another pre-market trade today, which was not good. But I guess early on, you see this little tail action, topping tail and bottoming tail. It looked like once it got through that, it kind of broke up, got all the way up to 57.47-ish. Yeah, it was just too hard for me to take to really do anything with. You can see though, it really did have a nice gap. It says daily chart, and then boom, gap on earnings. I think it actually had earnings yesterday after the close. Yeah, see, so it closed here, 4 o'clock, and then it announced earnings, and then shot up big time. So, and then just kind of climbed the rest of the day, or the rest of the evening, and then early morning, and then it kept going up. So, a good play for anyone that got Carnival. So my trade early in the day today was, okay, I'll bring up the 1-minute chart on the pre-market here. And you can see that, see, when did I get in? Okay, so this was moving down. I'll show you the yearly. Had a big bad day yesterday, this GNCA, GNCA Biosciences. So I had a big down day yesterday, and I was expecting maybe a continuation of that down. So early in the day, I was watching it move down. This is messy. Probably never. You like them to be a lot tighter than this if you're going to take them in the pre-market, because this is just too risky, really, with too much going on. I'll show you one actually that did have a nice tight movement in the pre-market. So I got in here, and of course, kind of bounced off of where I got in, went down again, and then it bounced again. So that double bottom should have told me right there. I should have gotten out before it came back up. And I put my stop right here at 363. Came up, hit my stop, and then once it opened, it kind of moved back down again, but it never really hit my target, which is about 336. So I'm not too horribly annoyed at the fact it's still some time left in the day, and actually on this chart it looks like it might actually start moving down again, but this is just ugly. So this wasn't a good one to take in the pre-market, which was a good one to take, which I did not take. which was, I think it was, let's see, I think it was KL, it was Kroger. Yeah, I think it was Kroger. So this one I missed. I really wish I was watching this closer. So I was watching this, and then I just took my eye off it around 8:30. It had moved down in the pre-market. I'll show you on the 15-minute chart. So it had like a big whippy action at 8 o'clock, and then a big down movement at 8:30. I missed it. So like that first move down, I was watching it here go sideways. I wanted, once it broke this like level right here, this 23 level, I wanted to get in right when it got below 23. 22.91 was probably where I, right around that area, 20.95-ish, 22.95. Could have gotten in at 22.90, let's say 22.92, and put your stop above this 20 SMA at 22.08, 23.08, I'm sorry. So like a 16-cent stop, and then look what happened as the rest of the morning. It went all the way down to 22.34. So that would have been a nice like 60+ cent drop. And then you probably would have exited if you hadn't exited everything down here as it started to bounce back up. But yeah, I was really annoyed that I missed that one. Yeah, the pre-market trade I did take was a bust. But then I had a nice trade. Oh, one other trade I took. IRM, which didn't really do anything for me. See, I got in here. This is just, I don't know. These are the ones where you look back and you say, what was I thinking? I think I was looking at this, and on this chart, on this smaller chart, it looks like the candles are tighter than they are, but these wicks are just ugly, right? I just figured it had gapped up a little bit, if you look on the yearly. So it ended yesterday at around 32.56. It opened at 32.75, so not a huge gap up, just a tiny little gap up. And I figured that once it failed this looked really weak up here, and it had this big red candle here, right? And it started to drift after that. I said, okay, maybe that, and also on this, if you can look at this on the 15-minute chart, it was below the 10 EMA, which I always look at for on the 15-minute chart, if it gets below that 10 EMA. But then look what happened. It kind of went back up to VWAP, and my stop was right around here. I said, if it gets here, I'm probably going to get out. It failed to break VWAP, and then continued down, and then I just said, you know what? I don't like the action. I don't like the pattern. I was regretting my decision to get into the stock, so I just exited everything at 32. What did I get out at? I got 32.69. I got in at 32.73. So a 4-cent movement, which was pennies. Really didn't make anything on that. Just a few dollars, really. So that was nothing. That was a nothing trade. Although now you can see it kind of did move down a little bit later in the day. I was looking for it to get down to this 32.47. You see this 200 moving averages around this area. If it ever does hit that, I'll be annoyed. Although I won't be too upset because I really did regret getting into this one to begin with because it's just not that pretty. These are the ones I try to avoid because they're just too risky. So getting out of it really wasn't anything. But the trade I did take that went well, which brought me back to above break even for the day because of that pre-market trade that I messed up. That was OTEX, OpenText Corp software. And the reason I like this one, again, if you look at the 15-minute chart, had an uptrend for today a little bit, and then started to fade, and then this big red candle that breaks through the 15-minute 10 EMA. So it stayed below that, and you can see that this actually takes into account pre-market action too, so that's why this 10 EMA is different than my little thumbnail chart 10 EMA here. So I was waiting for, I saw this big red candle, I was waiting for it to get below the 10 EMA with that on this chart, which does not take into account pre-market action. That's why the EMA is a little different. So, but it went down here, and you see this little indecision doji right here. It says buyers tried to bring it up, couldn't, and sellers brought it back down below this 10 EMA. Then it climbed a little, and then I said, all right, I'm going to get in here because I could set my stop really tight, which I did. I got in at 41.89. Got in at 41.89, and I set my stop just above that little top there. And on an 8 EMA chart, you can see the 20 SMA was nice and smooth all the way down. I said, all right, I'll get in here, 89, and I'll set my stop at, I think I set it at 90, less than 10 cents. I think it was like an 8-cent stop, really tight. And then right away, big drop down, and then it kept moving down. and I got out some of my shares at 41.74 for a 15-cent gain, and the rest of them at 41.69 right here. So the last bit of my shares I got out 20 cent. So 15 and 20 cent gain on half my shares, and the other half here on this little drop, and then it kept going down, which really I wasn't upset because I ended the day positive after this trade, so I can't be too upset. And I played it well, so that was it. So those were my trades. OpenText was the one that got me back in the black, but that was it. So again, Carnival making some moves today with the earnings, and Oracle, that was the big one. Had a big day, big gap up today, you can see. But tomorrow's Friday. I've been doing well this month. Hopefully going to start increasing my share size, which I've been slowly doing for over the course of a year, really, as I start to get more comfortable day trading. But any questions, leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them. About how I trade, I can't really make any recommendations, really. I'm not a financial advisor, so you got to do your own research, but I could certainly just relate what kind of things that I look for and how I trade, and tell you what works for me and what doesn't. So any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll be happy to get back to you. And if not, I will see you hopefully tomorrow with some more trades to show you. Good luck.